Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to 1,000 people rate themselves from 1 to 10. I reckon most people are going to go either way. I reckon it's going to be either they rate themselves too high or they rate themselves too low. No one wants to admit that they're average looking, even though there's a lot of average looking people and it's okay to be average looking, do you know what I mean? So I reckon that's what's going to happen. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's see what happens.
How attractive do you think you are on a scale from 1 to 10? We have asked 1,000 people this exact question.
Watch them say they're
there's a
10s.
problem. Most people asked on camera will say,
I'm a 10. All of
Fact.
us are 10. 10.
Bro, every single person. That or like I'm 7 or something.
Oh, wait a minute.
so we wanted to find a way to get real honest answers. That's why we created our anonymous survey asking 1,000 people to rate their appearance as honestly as possible from 1 to 10. To get real results, we also reminded them to keep in mind that a 5 out of 10 is the average score and not bad at all.
Bro, I've been saying this for like time. I swear to you, 5 is the average score, to be honest. I think that is what most people are day to day. So I don't know but people will probably rate themselves higher. It's either that most people rate themselves way higher than they are or way lower than they are. No one, you know what I mean? Everyone's trying to figure out where they sit, but
We then collected each person's age
Five's
and
not-
gender, so we could compare
Five's an
the
average
different
person.
groups later. And finally, for reference, we also asked each participant to rate this person in the photo from 1 to 10, which will play an important role later in the video. After collecting data for about 2 months, we finally hit the goal of 1,000 participants. And the results were so much different from all the public street interviews you always see. Out of exactly 589 men and 411 women, the most common answer, as you might have guessed, was 7 out of 10. Nearly 20% of all participants picked this number. For many, it's probably the safe zone. Not arrogant, but above average. On the other hand, 98 people called themselves exactly average by rating themselves a 5 out of 10. And then there's the bottom of the scale. 45 people gave themselves the lowest possible score, 1 out of 10. Most of them were men, by the way. More on that later. Now let's look at the opposite side.
1 out of 10 is crazy. 1 out of 10 means you are cooked. Kind of just a beast, essentially.
71 people gave themselves a perfect 10. That means 7% of the 1,000 participants believe they are basically the most attractive of them all. The rest of the scores are spread out in the middle range, resulting in an average score of 6.3 out of 10. In
That's
total,
above average, by the way.
678 participants gave themselves a 6 or higher. That means nearly 70% of people think they are better looking than average, which is
mad, because most people walking are average, so
mathematically impossible, but psychologically totally expected. A study from the University of Southampton, England actually gave this behavior a name, the self-enhancement effect. It's a tendency to overestimate your own qualities, especially regarding attractiveness. But theory aside, we wanted to test this directly. That's why every participant also had to rate the attractiveness of the reference.
I reckon this guy's like a 6. This, by the way, I don't care. It's all subjective, but I reckon I can see he's probably better looking than an average person, I guess.
Person we included. As you can see, his ratings were all over the place. 18 people gave him a 1 out of 10,
But it's all subjective as well,
59
too,
others gave him a 10. On
To an
average,
extent,
he
to an
received a 5.8 out of 10. And if you paid attention, you might have noticed something. That's lower than the average self-rating of our participants. In fact, 654 participants out of 1,000 rated themselves higher than they rated their reference person. That's 2 out of 3 people who think they are more attractive than him. To put this into perspective, we had the face of our reference person professionally analyzed. We will spare you the full report, but it's linked in the description. We concluded that the sample person rates somewhere between a 6.0 and a 6.1. That means statistically he should be more attractive than about 70% of participants. But in reality, our participants thought it was exactly the other way around, proving that the self-enhancement effect was very much present in our small experiment. But the ratings of the reference person also revealed something else that's really important. Looks are incredibly subjective. 18 people rated him a 1 out of 10, while 59 others gave him a 10.
As if because 1 is cooked, but 1 is crazy, bro. I can't lie, I can't get over that. I don't think there's many. I genuinely don't think there has to be something wrong with you to be a 1, actually be a 1, and people think that I don't know.
And believing he's one of the most attractive people out there. You simply can't be everyone's type. And honestly, you're not supposed to be. No matter how you look, there will always be someone out there that sees you as a perfect 10 out of 10. Even if 999 others don't. Okay, what's also really interesting is the differences between female and male participants. We had exactly 589 male participants with an average score of 5.9 out of 10, and 411 female participants averaging a score of 6.9 out of 10. But here's where the results completely surprised us. Out of the male participants, only 28 rated themselves a perfect 10 out of 10. In contrast, 43 female participants also gave themselves a perfect score. In relation, that means just 5% of men rated themselves at the very top, while over 10% of women did the same, meaning that they were more than twice as likely as men to rate themselves a perfect 10. Additionally, the total average score...
Because they gas each other up, that's what it is. Like men don't do that. If a guy is clapped, a guy will be like, brother, you're cooked. But like, women don't really do that. They'll be like, it's a bit mean or whatever.
Was also nearly 1 whole point higher. And we're not alone with this finding. A 2018 study titled "Almost Every Woman Thinks She's Hotter Than Average." Yes, that's the actual title.
Bro, tell a girl is average. Do it. See how that works out for you.
Found that 94% of women believe they are more attractive than the average woman. But why? The most common theory explaining this phenomenon is called the social feedback loop. Women usually tend to get way more positive feedback and praise about their looks. This kind of overly positive feedback, combined with the self-enhancement effect, could explain the significant differences in 10 out of 10 ratings we saw in our experiment between male and female participants. But how about the lowest score? In total, 45 people rated themselves a 1 out of 10, which statistically speaking is also pretty unrealistic. But here's the really interesting part. Of those 45 people, 34 were men and only 11 were women. Even in relation, that means that men are twice as likely to rate themselves at the very bottom.
Because men not say how it is. Men are like more real with, as in like, yeah. I feel like, I don't want to say it, yeah, nah. Men say it how it is. Like a guy will tell another guy if they think he's clapped. Like I think, okay, so I work part time. I work in a bar, and one of the guys I work with, he's just. Bear in mind, this customer doesn't know who this guy is. He comes in, and then like we're talking about how old each person looks, blah 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 blah. This guy he sees this guy and just guns at it, bro. Doesn't know this guy, by the way. Just throwing. He's catching strays for no reason. The guy wasn't even involved in the conversation, and then that's smart. That guy must probably think like he gets that type of treatment on a regular basis. Do you know what I mean? Not that it's good, but like I feel like somebody who's had that experience in their life is more likely to rate themselves lower because they're getting that all the time. Do you know what I mean? So.
But again, why?
Whereas I doubt, like, let's say a below average looking woman, I don't think other women would be doing that type of madness to her. Or not to her face anyway.
Got to do with body image pressure. The fitness industry, Instagram aesthetics, and the whole high-value male culture constantly push the idea that you need to be tall, shredded, rich, with a perfect face, or you don't measure up. And while women often tend to get more external validation and compliments, men sadly tend to suffer in silence. Which might explain why so many guys in our survey felt like they were at the bottom, even when that's statistically and visually not even close to the truth. Okay, you might remember that we also asked the participants to give us their age, just to see if there are any differences. But we didn't expect the results to be so drastically different. We divided the participants into 3 age groups: 15 to 20 years old, 21 to 30 years old, and 31 years and older. Can you guess which group had the highest average score? The lowest is the score of the youngest age group, being just 5.2 out of 10. In the middle, we have the 21 to 30 year olds, averaging a 6.1 out of 10. And the 31 years and older scored the highest.
Then again, hold on, okay, I reckon I know what it is. Basically, as you get older, it's not just about, because okay, what I believe is that looks obviously matter to an extent, but then it's if you got like everything, it's got to be like a whole package thing. Can't just be one thing. You know what I'm saying? I think as you get older, you start to realize that it's not just like a one track thing. Whereas I think the younger generation, they've grown up where they're getting told that that's the only thing that you got to measure up to. Do you know what I mean? Also, you got more money as you get older, so you can be able to take care of yourself and do a lot more stuff with yourself. Do you know what I'm saying?
7.3 out of 10. As you might have noticed, the older the participants were, the higher they rated themselves. But why is that? Younger generations have grown up in a world where every face is filtered and every body retouched. Everything is just...
Bro, like, look at
noticed. The older the participants were, the higher they rated themselves. But why is that? Younger generations have grown up in a world
That's
where
like how? That's a completely... Look how much has he had done? Completely different person. That's crazy. Fully different person. It's actually mad. That is crazy. And so she went from below to like, yeah, crazy.
every face is filtered and every body
Like a bad
retouched.
beaten
Everything
mad.
is just a highlight reel from someone else's life, not reality. And over time, that destroys your self-image. The younger you are, the more you tend to compare your looks to others. But as people get older, looks usually play a smaller role in how we see ourselves. Confidence starts to come from other things, like caring for people you love. So that concludes the experiment we've been running over the past 3 months. If you appreciate the work and time we put into this, then please leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to understand how others actually perceive your face, check out our website link below. There you can get a professional facial analysis and a science-based transformation protocol tailored specifically to you. We will analyze your face shape, your hairline, the depth of your eye bags, your skin complexion, and 30 more metrics to help you become the best looking version of yourself. So check out the first link in the description. Take care, bye.
Cool. But yeah, guys, that's people rating themselves, I guess. But obviously I feel like the most important thing is you being happy with who you are, obviously, inside, and obviously taking care of yourself, innit? Because everyone's, regardless of what standard subjectively or objectively you stand in that system, the main thing is if like who you are inside. So at the end of the day, looks will fade, and then on top of it as well, it's just being able to having the ability to just work with what you got. You get what I mean? So yeah, if you like that video, just leave a comment down below, and I'll see you soon. Peace.